What's going on, everybody? Tactical Grizzly Bear here. All right, so lately I've been tackling some of the tougher issues with shit hit the fan, the tougher subjects, like, what to do with the dead after the shit hit the fan, and, basically the children of the shit hit the fan. Now I'm going to tackle something that I don't see much about at all right? And that is cannibalism, all right? Is that a viable threat in the shit hit the fan? I believe so. I mean, is it a huge threat? Not right off, but it is a viable threat. It's something that people need to think about, because history has shown us that in survival situations, and I'm talking the Donner Party, there's been plane crashes where people have resorted to survive, have resorted to cannibalism. There have been shipwrecks all throughout the ages where the crew members have resorted to cannibalism. Also, even in war, there's plenty of instances in World War II. Plenty of instances in even here recently. I don't know if this was a survival situation, but there was a video of a Syrian rebel who cut out the heart of some enemy and took a bite out of it. So I mean, war does a hell of a thing to people, and cannibalism seems to be some sort of threat of that. So, and the shit hit the fan. Well, what is shit hit the fan? Shit hit the fan is the biggest survival situation that I believe anybody could come up with. So what happens when the food runs out? What are people going to do? What happens if they aren't prepared? Right off, it's like the day that the shit hits the fan. I honestly don't think that people are automatically just going to resort to cannibalism. Maybe two-gun Tommy gun. I don't know. All right, but the fact of the matter is that the longer the shit hit the fan is, the more likely our food resources are going to run out. Other people's food resources are going to run out. Some people are prepared for years. Some people are like me, only are prepared right now for a few months. So, what happens after a few months? Well, personally speaking, I would rather eat a dog or a cat than eat human flesh. But then what happens when you eat all the dogs and the cats? So as far as I'm concerned, cannibalism is some sort of threat. Now, is it more of a threat than bands of marauders that come to your community or something like that and try to attack you? I don't think so. I think cannibals are not going to be the ones that, at least right away, are not going to be the ones that run out and try to attack people. I think they'll be the ones that try to catch people off guard, people that are bugging out, people that are walking through the woods on their way to get supplies or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert on cannibalism, or anything else, but this is just the way that I see it. These people themselves are just trying to survive. They may desecrate a dead body to eat. That's what most of these survival situations of the past have been. It wasn't someone going out and killing somebody. All right. Now, I'm not talking about serial killers. I'm talking about survival situations. Okay, so don't get that confused. There have been plenty of serial killers that go out, kill people, chop up their bodies, put them in refrigerators, and eat them. But as far as survival, when people are surviving, they tend not to kill somebody and eat their flesh. They wait until that person dies. When that person dies, in all these situations, the Donner Party, okay, no one was actually murdered for their meat, all right? They waited until someone starved to death or died from sickness or something like that. The same thing with the plane crash in the Alps, all right? The people died, and that's when they started consuming the meat. And it was the same thing with, trying to think, Same thing with a lot of these shipwrecks, all right? People are adrift for so many days, okay? They're starving to death. Someone dies, they resort to cannibalism. So, you know, in these kind of situations, but, all right, shit hit the fan is also war, okay? I mean, you know, it just depends on what shit hit the fan we're talking about here. So it could also be war. In a wartime situation, I mean, there's plenty of instances in World War II where there was one instance in Japan where a group of Japanese soldiers captured American airmen and ate them, killed them, murdered them, cooked them, and ate them. Same thing in Germany. All right, a lot of POWs and instances like that. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, I mean, this is definitely a subject that needs to be thought about. Does it need to be thought about in depth and talked about a whole lot? You know, different views, different opinions, but you know, I'm hitting this up now because I don't see a lot of videos talking about cannibalism as far as shit hit the fan. So when it all comes down to it, I think it's a big enough threat, all right, that we need to have discussions on it possibly or something to that effect. I'm not an expert at all. I've said this before, but I believe that the scientific term for cannibalism is anthropelopathy or something like that. If anybody is, you know, more in depth into the research of cannibalism, Two Gun Tommy Gun, I don't know. I'm joking around with Two Gun Tommy Gun because he's talked about eating marauders, all right, as a message to other marauders. Don't fuck with me, I'll eat you. But anybody out there, if you actually do know a little bit more than what I'm talking about, as far as even maybe you've done research on a Donner Party or something to that effect, put a comment below. I'll shoot you out my email and we'll have discussion on this all day, all week. You know, I mean, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not scared to talk about it. So, and it's not one of those kind of subjects that's taboo to me. All right, so it may be taboo to some other people, but as far as I'm concerned, I'll talk about it because I think it needs to be talked about. So, with that being said, again, you know, make your comments below and everything else. If anybody has anything to add, go ahead, add it down there. Again, if you wanna actually conversate about this or something like that, you know, we'll do that. So, with that being said, Tactical Grizzly Bear, I'm out.